with our friends, our neighbors, our colleagues, and our family members. Secondly, let us also say our peace and prayers upon our most beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, upon his family members, his spouse, his children, his companions, radiallahu anhum jami'an. I've been given the topic of celebrating Ramadan. I believe the topic in full was celebrating Ramadan with your family. Okay? Celebrating Ramadan with your family. I think we are all very much aware, and I don't think we need much teaching and reminding on how to celebrate Eid al-Fitri. Am I right? Do you guys need to know how to celebrate Eid al-Fitri? Do you need me to go line by line? Like after this, go Bazaar Gilang, right? And get your clothes, buy your kueh, right? For the ladies who are baking, you continue baking. Remember to change your curtains, and so on and so forth. The topic given to me is celebrating Ramadan with your family. The thing is, if we were to treat the celebration of Ramadan the same way we treat how we celebrate Eid al-Fitri, just at that level, very simple, I think we would notice and we would realize many significant changes in the way we perform our ibadah, in the way we prepare for the arrival of this blessed month. You know, what do you do before Eid al-Fitri arrives? You prepare your clothing, you set aside time to do spring cleaning of the house. You set aside a budget to buy food to serve your guests during Eid al-Fitr, right? You do a lot of things. You even psych your mind up. I mean, a few days before Eid al-Fitr, some of you are already listening to the songs of Eid al-Fitr, like getting your mind into the zone. How about before Ramadan? And I know we've passed 3-4 days, but how about as a reflection? Before Ramadan, we do the exact same thing. We set aside time, right, to do a schedule, for example, do a timetable, to see when is it, because we want to celebrate as a family, not you as the father or you as a husband alone, you know, going to the mosque every night. We want to celebrate as a family. Because if I were to ask all of you right now, would you like to enter Jannah? Would you like to enter paradise and see your family there? Yes or no?
Yes.
Nobody wants to go Jannah alone. That's why when people get married, they say, hingga ke pintu syurga, right? Until the gates of paradise. After that, you know, you can go your way, I go my way. I think that's what they mean, right? So, everybody wants to enter paradise with their loved ones. But are our actions, our preparations, and our deeds consistent with what we want? Whenever you have goals set aside, you set your goals like pre-Ramadan, okay, I want to be able to read more Quran. I want to be able to pray more sunnah prayers. I want to be able to wake up for tahajjud. Right? I want to be able to give more donations to Masjid Al-Mawaddah, for example. Or to Ustaz Tarmizi, I don't know, either one you choose, okay? You want to do all these things, but what I see a lot of people do is that they have goals, but they don't have a plan. You need to have a plan. You need to set aside time. You know, you need a piece of paper. Some of you who are, you know, a bit more advanced, you want an Excel sheet, or you have an app that can help you organize. You organize your time accordingly. You see, whenever someone says, Ustaz, but my work, my business is taking so much of my time, and the moment I reach home, Ustaz, I have the house to clean, I have children to feed, I have clothes to wash. Sometimes I even have to bring back home to work because the hours in the office is not enough. Ustaz, with all of these things, this is proof that I do not have time to do ibadah in Ramadan. Brothers and sisters, anytime anyone says they don't have time, it means one thing. it means that they have not yet made that thing which they say they don't have time for a priority in their lives. Because you see, every day there's always something that we do without fail. Without fail, we will include them in our daily timetable, without fail. Sometimes to the point where we are unconscious that we are doing it, but we are doing it. For example, some brothers here, some fathers here, you come back home, it's almost automatic that you immediately sit on your sofa and grab the newspaper and read it. Or you switch on the TV to watch the news, or to catch some, sports highlights or something, right? There's something that we always do without fail. We don't even have to plan it anymore. It's embedded inside us, inside our minds, right? For the ladies, I don't know what are your habits. I'm scared to assume. I might throw something from upstairs. Maybe, they, without fail, they will definitely catch that Korean drama episode, and when Ramadan comes, they're hungry, they can't munch on anything, so to make up for that, they watch a second episode, just 2 episodes in one sitting. I know some people can do more. So these are things where somehow, somewhere, we always manage to find a bit of time to do that. So what we need to do is not to say this. If there is time, I'll read my Quran. If I'm not too tired, if I can wake up, I'll do tahajjud. Right? What you are doing is, you are setting your mind up to say and to believe that only when it's convenient, you'll do it. Now that's problematic. That's never going to work. And this applies to any other issue that you're having right now. For example, if you're saying, Stars, I don't have time to, sit with my children to help them with their homework. Because you have not prioritized that yet. To you, that's less important than the other stuff that you're doing. Okay? You may say, I don't have time with my spouse. Again, you're not setting time aside for you and your spouse to have a talk, to have a discussion on a regular basis, and so on and so forth. So, just now I gave an analogy of how you celebrate Eid and how you celebrate Ramadan. How you prepare for the celebration of Eid and how you prepare for the celebration of Ramadan. I believe that Ramadan also requires that you set aside budget. Okay? The Prophet ﷺ was described by one of his companions as كَانَ النَّبِيُّ صَلَى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ أَجْوَلِ النَّاسِ. Verily the Prophet ﷺ was the most generous of people. However, the companion continued to describe by saying that, I can't remember the actual text, but كَانَ أَجْوَلْ مَا يَكُونُ. He's more, Ustaz Shakir is there to help me. He's more generous as a wind that is blowing, It's like, it's going very, very fast. Okay? So, if the Prophet ﷺ has set his mind up for Ramadan, outside of Ramadan is already very generous. Inside of Ramadan, he's already set his mind up, I'm going to be twice as generous, 3 times as generous. So you also need a budget set aside. You know for a fact that every mosque will be asking for donations, for example, for iftar, right? Every mosque does that. Am I right? It's actually an opportunity. You don't look at it and say, look at these guys, every year they ask for money for donation. I thought all this while, Friday prayers, I put in money, that's enough. Why do they keep on asking? It's actually an opportunity. That budget is set aside specifically for you to feed people for iftar. And there's also another hadith the Prophet ﷺ said, if you feed someone during iftar, you will get the reward of that person's fast without you actually stealing any of his own rewards. Like his fast, let's say he fasts, I get my reward for fasting, I also get his reward. I get double. Now imagine if you gave $150, how many mouths would that feed? How many individuals would benefit? If you gave 300, if you gave 500, there'll be a lot of people benefiting.
and you'll be getting lots and lots and lots of rewards. So you see, how we celebrate Ramadan depends a lot on how we prepare for it. Alright, brothers and sisters, although we have passed a few days, there's still an opportunity. The Prophet ﷺ, when we talk about celebrating Ramadan, he was the kind of person who would intensify his ibadah as the days go by. The last 10 nights of Ramadan, he would wake his family members up. He would wake his family members up and say, come on, let's do the night prayers together. Let's do tahajjud together. That is true love. Right? Some of you say, Ustaz, I love my spouse too much, I don't want to wake him up. Sian. You know? Look at his face, he looks so tired, Ustaz. Look at my wife, she's drooling, Ustaz. I cannot, get myself to do that. But true love is actually waking them up so that they share with us the rewards. And I think if you're looking for a way to be with your spouse, your family, your children, your parents, your siblings, to walk together into Jannah, then it has to be done in that manner. I believe if you've never done any of these things before, you have to start. I believe that everything that you want to do fresh, everything that you just want to start doing, you have to start with something that is doable, achievable, something realistic. From there, build momentum. From there, the enthusiasm will, increase itself. And then you'll realize, instead of, probably you'll start with tahajjud only 2 rak'ahs. Like you actually wake up for sahur, not tahajjud, You sleep, oh Allah, please wake me up for sahur, ya Allah. I don't think I'll be able to survive that sahur, ya Allah, please wake me up. At 4:45, the angels wake you up. Okay? And you wake up. And your intention is for sahur, but because, your wife or whoever it is, maybe your domestic helper is preparing, or maybe you put your sahur inside the microwave oven as you're waiting for it to heat up, you have time. What to do? Take a power nap. No. What to do? What to do? Perform your wudu, ablution, and do 2 rak'ats of tahajjud. Start with that. Guess what? If, let's say, one of those days, as you were doing suddenly you accidentally wake up slightly earlier. Suddenly, there's a bit of delay in the kitchen, right? What happens? Now you are in position. You have your wudu. You're facing the qibla. You're all ready to pray. You're going to add 2 more, inshallah. Then suddenly now your norm is not 2. You stretch yourself. Ramadan is a month where we learn to stretch our faith, right? Beyond what we normally do. Some people like to joke about, you see, Muslims, they are very seasonal, Muslims, especially in Singapore. Ramadan, everybody go to the mall. Ramadan donations kat Labong penuh. Outside of Ramadan, Muslims are all, half-hearted. Maybe once in a while they come, once in a while they donate. As much as some people like to joke about it, but I believe ultimately everyone here, our iman is sometimes high and sometimes low. And we try our best to make ourselves better Muslims and better servants to Allah, and a better member of the Ummah of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. But sometimes it's just all the distractions and all those things. But I believe that if this is your time, Ramadan is when you are really focused and you are dedicated to doing more, then go all out. Don't hold back. Especially if you know you're not going to be like this again outside of Ramadan, knowing yourself in the past. Use this opportunity. Do more. Stretch yourself. Alright? And make 4 rak'ats your norm, no longer 2. Make 6 rak'ats your norm, no longer 4. Make 10 pages of Quran a day your norm, no longer 5 pages, and so on. Always try your best to stretch yourself in this month, and then, because we're talking about family, then get your families along. I'm talking to the brothers and fathers here first. You must lead by example. You do more than what your family does. Always begin that way. Your family will look at you at first, they're gonna look, oh man, do I have to do that too? You know, especially the children, oh, there's just so much I can. But slowly, you don't know. One day, when you're really old, or one day when you're no longer around, your child will suddenly play back the memories that they saw when they were younger, seeing their father or their grandfather or their husband or their elder brother very diligently and religiously praying every night. And they'll be inspired and they'll do it. Why? Because of you. And wherever you are, whether you're still alive or you're under the ground, you will be rewarded because you inspired that family member of yours to do those deeds. So let us all lead by example. Let us all make plans for Ramadan so that we can truly achieve what we have set our minds to achieve together with our family members, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us with an amazing Ramadan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all our deeds in Ramadan. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us better the moment Ramadan leaves us, inshallah, at the end of the month. Shukran wa billahi tawfiq. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.